Hello. Now we'll be talking about Garbha Sanwad, that is womb talking. Now, many of you must have heard about womb talking, but may not be knowing actually how to talk with your womb and how to interact with your baby, because sometimes it just sounds absurd की तुम्ही बेबीशी कसं बोलणार, how may like तुम्हाला म्हणजे इतर लोक जे आहेत घरी त्यांना सुद्धा जरा ऑकवर्ड वाटेल की तुम्ही बेबीशी बोलत आहात आणि whether the baby is really listening to whatever you are talking with the baby to. तर त्यामुळे कसं आहे ना की आपण सी वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न दिस कन्सेप्ट. ऍक्च्युली वूम टॉकिंग जे असतं ना तर ते not necessarily everything that you speak is heard by the baby. Now practically if you go to see this, the baby is always submerged underwater. Okay, the baby is inside the amniotic fluid, and this is the fluid gives protection to the baby. Also it helps the development of muscles and joints. And this fluid, see, you must have experienced this whenever you go for swimming. When you're underwater, there's nothing, even loud sound can't be heard underwater. So same as with the baby cannot literally hear what you're speaking, but then why you'd ask that why should we do womb talking then? If the baby can't hear, then why should I be wasting my time? Now, um, as we have discussed it earlier, every word that you speak creates some kind of emotion in your brain. It stimulates that center in your brain, or maybe a particular group of centers in your brain are stimulated. Now these centers, no, essentially these are going to these are going to make a cocktail of chemicals or hormones. Now, these hormones, which are generated because of certain kind of emotions, like whenever you say, for example, I love my baby so much, I'm so eager to welcome our baby. How are you feeling, baby? Are you tired today? So that creates, that elevates the level of love hormone, that is oxytocin. That also elevates endorphins because certain brain centers are stimulated. Now these endorphins, this oxytocin hormone is circulated throughout the body. Now this hormone will also enter through the placenta towards the baby, it will go, and then this chemical, this hormone is recognized by the baby's body. It goes and stimulates exact centers which were stimulated in your brain. These chemicals are going to stimulate those centers in baby, and then these centers will develop very nicely. Okay, so whenever you are talking about empathy, you're talking about love, you're talking about caring, you're talking about motherhood, these words are going to stimulate your centers, convert those feelings into chemicals. These chemicals are going to reach baby's brain, and these chemicals are going to stimulate those centers. So do you get that link? Now this is the reason why whatever you speak, whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you hear during pregnancy, directly it develops those centers, those areas in your baby's brain, and your baby's brain is developed in that certain way. So an empathic mother or a loving mother will always give birth to a loving and caring baby. So this is the relation. Now, one more thing I would like to say is whenever we are like, there's some kind of argument, or there's some kind of quarrel going on, and the mother is witnessing this, or maybe she's just watching a movie, a horror movie or a thriller movie. In that particular scenes, they generate these feelings of anxiety, anger, lust maybe, or revenge kind of. These feelings are generated in the mother's mind. These will obviously make that cocktail of hormones, which will include catecholamines like adrenaline, noradrenaline, and these hormones are going to pass through the placenta. They will reach baby's brain, and then they will stimulate that area which is concerned with revenge, which is concerned with violence, which is concerned, which is connected with this behavior and all. So obviously you don't want your baby to develop these things before the baby is born. And so what you do is you always try to think in a positive way. This is the reason why a pregnant woman, she's asked to watch movies which are very loving movies, romantic movies, or inspiring movies, movies with a good quality of emotion that is expressed, and then these things are going to be there in the baby. Also this is the reason why in the ancient days, whenever they used to select a bride for the groom, they used to see the qualities, the behavioral qualities, and the nature of that bride's mother. Now, why mother? So this is the reason is lies over here, that whenever that bride's mother was pregnant, when she was pregnant, she must have had certain qualities. She must have experienced certain emotions, and those emotions have passed in the in the bride, I would say, and that would show us how the bride's behavior would be. That would be a small predicting factor to predict like what kind of bride you'll be welcoming in your family. So this is the reason why womb talking is very important. Now, this was the first reason. Now, second reason is we always want a pregnant woman to be aware of her pregnancy. She should be involved in a pregnancy. Like I've heard many patients, they say that, ma'am, tell me some ways to ignore my pregnancy. Tell me certain ways in which I can just forget about pregnancy and I can relax and I can do whatever I'm supposed to do, or like maybe watch movies, be engaged in my duties and all in the workplace. So they just want a kind of distraction from pregnancy. And I would rather say that instead of distracting or instead of ignoring pregnancy, why not be involved in pregnancy? Why not be aware of your pregnancy and include that in your curriculum, in your daily schedule, and then follow and do whatever you want. So this way you'll always be conscious not to speak anything bad, which will have an adverse effect on the baby, not to do anything bad, not to say anything bad, not to hear anything bad. So this is also the way to be aware of the pregnancy, and this will obviously change the nature. It would change the nature and make it into more positive kind of. Now, third thing, which is again very important in Indian scenario, I would say that we have always seen like since centuries and since many years in our culture, we don't see um, the male members in the house, like the father maybe or the grandfather. They are not much involved in the pregnancy because essentially they don't think that they should be involved in this thing, and this is the sole duty of the mother, of the mother, the pregnant woman's, the females in the house, I would say. It is their duty to take care of the pregnancy, and they are quite aware what they need to teach this pregnant woman or what they should avoid and all. So they literally did not take that much part in that whole phase of pregnancy and motherhood. And now that times have changed. No, that thing was good in that era, since they had a different set of activities, they had different works to do, so obviously they can't be involved in each and everything. Another thing was that they, like males are more of left brainers, I would say. They're analytical, they are very like they have a narrow perspective towards life. They'll be very calculative, practical kind of. And women are expected to be right brainers. They should be artistic, they should have empathy, they should have be loving, caring. And this is the reason why pregnant women should be surrounded with only right brainers. They used to think that way. But now times have changed. Like now, women and women and men in the family, they are both struggling towards same goals. both of them must be sharing their profession also. Both are involved in other decisions of life. Then why not be involved in pregnancy? Now, and so this womb talking is another way of including father and making him involved a part of this pregnancy. So womb talking from the father is also very important. It also helps to create a good bond. Now see, the pregnancy is a time when the woman is already pregnant, woman is already quite irritable. um, there are mood swings. She's already depressed kind of. She doesn't she's not allowed to do certain kind of activities, so the life is quite bit dull kind of lifestyle. So this womb talking also helps to create a good bonding between the couple, bonding among the other members of the family. And so womb talking should include essentially every person from the family. So not just from the would be father's family, but even members of the pregnant woman's family should be maternal people should also be included in this. So one more thing is that obviously I don't think and this has been proven that sound waves, they cannot reach to the baby, but obviously as I've explained, these hormones and these thoughts can be conveyed to the baby very nicely. And obviously when the mother is angry or the mother is anxious, because of this link, baby also becomes anxious, baby also becomes angry, and he kinds of develop same kind of behavior and all, which has been like he has been experienced throughout pregnancy, throughout his growing phase. So uh, this womb talking is the very effective way of changing this thing. This is also the most easiest way, I would say, to create a good surrounding for your baby, to help him get a very nice nature, nice behavior, and even teaches mannerism too. So, we have now that we have known what womb talking is and how it's important, I will be discussing how it has to be done. So now there are many ways through which womb talking can be done. Uh, the first way is pregnant woman, at least she should devote 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, in the noon, and 5 minutes before going to bed for the baby. Now, what she has to talk in between those 5 minutes, I'll be discussing it later. This is one thing. Second thing is the father would be father can talk with the baby. Um, the third thing is there can be these recording clips, audio clips from all the members of the family in chorus or individual clips, and those clips can be kept. Those audio clips can be made audible for the baby. It can be kept near the womb, and the pregnant woman, she should actually listen to all these words. Now, just putting a microphone or putting a headphone on the tummy is not going to convey that message. Now, the whole idea behind womb talking is that the pregnant lady should listen to these words, so she can have a great bond with those people around, and so that she comes to know, she's very assured that her baby is in safe hands, that everyone is there to take care of the baby and her. And this creates a kind of security also, and obviously this also helps building a good bond between everyone. So she should be knowing what the words are. So obviously she should keep that microphone or the recording near, place it near the womb, and also listen to those things herself too. Now, see, we have always heard that to expect something from a baby is not a good thing. Baby is also a separate individual. We cannot place all our expectations, and we can't just expect someone to be an ideal person when we ourselves are not that ideal. So what I suggest is, instead of having all these demands and all, my baby should be very intelligent, he should be able to earn a lots of money, he should be very famous, he should be an influential person in the society, and all these things, I would like to make it a natural and from the heart kind of audio clip. Or you can use those words like a mother. Obviously every mother wants her baby to be healthy, so those are the first words a mother should be speaking with the baby. And she can talk in this fashion that, okay, I love you, baby, a lot, and I would like to see you, we are already all eager to see you, and we are eager to hold you in our arms. I would like you to be very healthy. I would like you to be very loving, caring. Now, obviously, see, whenever you also listen to these words, na, your mind just revolves around these good qualities, and there is very lesser possibility of you thinking about all those bad qualities and all. So whatever will be saying in front of our child after the baby is born, same words we'll be using it for womb talking. So what you have to do is, you just have to sit very calmly on a relaxing chair, maybe in a chair, relaxing chair, or just lie down in your bed and keep your hand on your womb, and then talk about all these good things, whichever you feel about, like about your baby. Talk whatever you have, feeling great feelings you have about this pregnancy, and then either you can change these words always every time, or you can record these words and then play it near the womb. So both these things are acceptable, there's no problem in that. The third thing now again is, you can also switch on some kind of music, background music, or you can just play that music which has some inspirational talks and inspirational speeches and all. Maybe like you can combine music with all these talks and make the baby listen to those talks. This also can be very helpful. Then again, uh, now Garbha Sanwad, uh, why father has a very big role, as we have already discussed. Now another thing is that uh, fathers generally who are not involved during the pregnancy, they tend to avoid situations even post delivery. Like post delivery, the fathers are very anxious to hold the baby. They don't want to have that bonding with the baby, maybe because of fear, or maybe because they don't have that much of time. And then slowly what happens is, they drift away from the baby. Okay, it's not that obvious, but slowly within a few years, there's a thinking gap kind of thing between the father and the children. But mothers are always connected with the baby, because they always keep talking with the baby regarding everything. And fathers are like, they'll be just talking whenever there's some need, or like whenever they want to scold, or either like appreciate in very rarely. So they don't have that kind of bond with the baby. So this is the reason why womb talking should be done right from the third, fourth month. Don't think whether the baby is able to hear or not. Obviously, definitely the baby is not going to hear all these words, because the baby doesn't have the capacity to process these words. The baby doesn't know what love means. Baby doesn't know what caring means. And so obviously, even if the baby hears through these words, he doesn't understand what these words are. So these words are just for the mother. Okay, so what you have to do is, what fathers have to do is, they just have to talk good about the mother and the baby. And this can be recorded if the father is like, he's a traveler, maybe doesn't he's not available daily, he's not since the mother also migrates to her parents place very often during pregnancy. So this can be recorded, and this can be kept near the womb. So this thing, I believe, is also important emotionally, to develop the emotional intelligence of the baby. Now there are certain qualities which we have heard about, and these qualities are very important to be successful in life. Now, these qualities, to have these qualities within oneself, one needs to have that center highly developed. Okay, so you cannot just teach someone empathy when the center for empathy is not developed. You cannot teach someone how caring should be done, how one should care, how what love means, what selflessness means, when what hope means, when this center, the center for hope, the center for selflessness, the center for positivity is not developed in a baby. So obviously you'll be giving something, but they don't have to keep anything to place this thing, that's this feeling in that thing. So then this is the reason why few kids or few babies or few individuals, even though when they receive so much of love, they receive so much of good things, positive things, yet they don't inculcate those values, because the place to store these values is underdeveloped or not developed at all, or that place is taken up by other feelings like anxiety, fear, phobias, and greed and all. So obviously then it's like, if you don't practice this womb talking and these good things during pregnancy, you cannot expect them to be taught to the kids after delivery, like after the baby turns into a small young kid. That time it's of no use teaching him all these things if the place is not developed properly. So you have to do all these things very meticulously. If you want a good baby, if you want a thoughtful baby, if you want a virtue baby, you need to work very hard in creating these qualities. But believe me, working before pregnancy when the baby is still in the womb is 100 times easier, a lot easier than working on these things after the baby is born. So, as I always say, that to store honey, you need a honeycomb. And the quality of the honeycomb, the material used, the wax used, the intricate design of this honeycomb is does matter. And this is the most important thing, which is related to the quality and quantity of honey that is stored in it. So, during pregnancy, when the baby is still in the womb, you need to create this frame or this honeycomb so nicely, so that later on, when the baby tries to gain knowledge, when the baby tries to know these feelings, when the baby tries to experience these emotions, he knows where to place these emotions well. Like, so talk with your baby, talk with your partner, talk with your spouse, talk with your family members, and include everyone in that pregnancy period, because this, believe me, this experience is the most beautiful experience which you'll be having. uh, and this is once in a lifetime experience, and this period is the most delicate period which can break a woman and make a woman. So never miss this opportunity of womb talking. Just feel as if you are just watching your baby in front of you and picturizing your baby, and just talk whatever you want to talk with your baby. And again, very important thing is that never idolize people who the baby cannot see later on in their life. Like, we have so many perfect people, hardworking people working throughout the day near us, but we hardly acknowledge them. Like the maid, I would say, a cook also. She has such a good quality of mixing all these herbs, these edible things, and turning it into the most tastiest food, I would say. She has that skill. So idolize her for that, acknowledge her for that quality, and then teach your baby. Tell your baby, talk to your baby. Okay, our maid, she's such a great cook, and she has cooked this delicious meal which your mother is having. So we should thank her also. You should thank your anyone, like you should thank your relatives. Maybe like the baby's grandmother must be having some very good quality. So talking about these qualities about people who are surrounding us, makes more sense than talking about scientists or role models or maybe business tycoons and all. If the baby is not going to see and know these people in real, there's no use of talking about them. So always appreciate virtues which you see around you. And then the baby will acknowledge, baby will know what exactly these virtues are if they see these people in front of them. So be practical, be scientific, and follow these things very meticulously to have a virtual baby. Thank you.